There we go. Welcome everybody. Another episode of Three Kings. We're still doing this. It's fun to do. Dapper and I enjoy it. This is infrequent podcast. We do it when we feel like it. We hope it's fun for you as it's for us. This podcast is about weird stuff. It's about paranormal stuff. It's about trying to find out what lies beyond the veil. There is this Reddit. There is this subreddit. It's called Three Kings. Something I started some years ago based on some experiences that I had at the time. I always read about it. Says a subreddit to share our experiences following any kind of paranormal recipe or ritual, not just the titular Three Kings. So what I would like to do, and what we always do with this show, is we see what is new and popular in the subreddit lately, and we make some comments about it. Now, my comments, take them with a grain of salt. I'm basically a dumb person that gets stuff stuck into its memory for some reason, and I just make comments about it. Whereas my co-host Dapper, which is the lovely voodoo doll you see on the screen right now that guy, he knows some stuff. He knows, in fact, a lot of stuff. So that's the real value to the show. Dapper, how are
I
you?
wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
All
I
right.
just, I wing it mostly.
Well, you wing it very well, my friend. You know that movie Inside Out that represents people's feelings in their heads and stuff? I always wonder what your Inside Out city looks like. It's probably some gothic
Oh wow.
techno
That,
punk
that'd
stuff.
make like a whole episode.
Right, so we're gonna shoot. So let's look at the subreddit. So we have this open right now, and what I usually do is I go to see what's been good lately. So let's take a look at what's top for this month. All right, the upside down ritual. Let's see what is this. Somewhere in West Philadelphia, born and raised, you'll find an old basketball court. Okay, this is the Fresh Prince. This is the French Prince pasta. This better be marked as a joke. OC. It's marked OC. Where's the flare? I don't know how it works. I'll have to make sure later on when I log into Reddit that this. I mean, it's yeah, funny. Okay, you're the Fresh Prince.
Or
Cool.
maybe Fresh Prince was always paranormal.
Fresh is paranormal. Smell you later. All right. Next one. Has anyone tried the elevator game and seen a man instead of a woman on floor 5? Well, this requires some background. We have to find out what's the elevator game. So let's see.
I've heard of the elevator game before. They've actually made like short horror movies about that.
Is there? All right. I found it. So this is 3 years ago. All right. Okay, so here we go. The elevator game. Hello, Redditors. Phil here again. Today's game is the elevator game. Who's Phil? It's some creepy stuff. That's his name. All right. Before this experience starts, explain some things. I'm not dead, lol. I'm fine. All right. Well, good to know, Phil. I didn't post this before because of personal problems. I want to skip that. Now let's get back to what you really came for. Thank you, Phil. The purpose of the elevator game is use a common standard elevator to reach another world or dimension by pressing certain numbers in a certain order. I like this premise. This ritual is very simple and can be done in any building with elevators, even in a business building. I guess the real problem is the high chance of not returning to your real life after completing this. I would say the real risk is getting kicked out by security, even if winning, and I mean literally there's a high chance of getting stuck in this other world, getting insane, or even death. I tried this because I thought if I survive all this stuff, why couldn't I survive this? That was the exact same thing Michaela does rituals and all user on no sleep that someone showed me thought. And either she died or she's completely insane, judging the fact she posted last time over a year ago. All right, that's interesting. What do you make of this so far, Dapper?
So I've heard the elevator game repeatedly. They made I think it was like a short or a TV show or something where they actually filmed it. And it's an old school belief. It went around 4chan a bunch. I don't know. It's I've never tried it. I don't know what would happen, and you are essentially putting yourself into the crossroads of the other realms, and some passengers come on or off.
I wouldn't mind being in the shadows. Well, I don't know. I take it back. Hold on, I would go into the
It's
shadow side.
a way to get to the shadow side.
It's a way to get to the shadow side. I don't think this guy is posting the recipe. I think he's posting an experience. Yes, he is. I only started regretting it was too late to 35. All right, so that's interesting. Let's read the actual one. So I just googled it, and it says here, "Scary Games Paranormal Elevator Game Ritual that will bring you to another world." Originated in Japan and South Korea. You'll need a person, a public building with 10 floors with an elevator. Straightforward enough. To start a game, the players need to enter the elevator. That makes sense. Press the fourth floor. Interesting. So this originated in Japan, Sean, and the first button you press is the fourth one. Do you see the
Death.
correlation?
Yep.
Death. Exactly.
You know,
Uh,
it's very much like in this country, in America, you don't have 13th floor on a lot of buildings because superstition and number 13. It's the same thing in Japan. It's a lot of buildings, old school buildings, don't have a fourth floor.
yeah, like the 13,
Yep.
it jumps. I've been in some buildings that go from 12 to 14.
But as Mitch Hedberg said, jump off the roof, you'll die quicker.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So interesting. So press the fourth floor. That do not proceed if someone enters the elevator or one of the players leave the elevator. If someone does that, start from the beginning. So okay. So if you're in an elevator with other people and they're going about their business, they're doing their stuff, and you get in and you press fourth floor, they expect you to get off, but then you don't, and then no one else does, and then they just stare at you, and luckily no one else enters, and that means you may proceed. All right. So you are now in the fourth floor. No one got in or out. Press the second floor. Again, same rule. Do not proceed if someone enters or leave. Start from the beginning. So basically, this is what you do. You go 4, 2, 6, 2, 10 is all the same, then 5 is all the same. And here we go. So once it's 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5.
Cue the music from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I Is there a pattern here? Let's
No,
see.
I mean, it's just who knows what the numbers mean.
Because look, 2 is half of 4, and 5 is half of 10, but then this should have been 3 then. Weird. All right. Who knows? Who knows where these numbers came from? All right. So now you press the fifth floor. So you've been going up and down. Says step 7. If a woman enters the elevator at the fifth floor, do not look at her, do not speak, and don't talk to her. That woman is not human. If you do, she will decide to keep you for her own. I mean, I know some lonely guys who wouldn't mind that. They'll probably. Uh,
Yeah, you know what it is about Japanese tales? It's always like a spooky lady with long hair.
the spooky lady with long hair and the big straw hat. I don't know. I saw that somewhere. Press the first floor. Do not proceed if someone enters the elevator or one of the players leave the elevator. Okay, so at this point, the woman may or may not be in the elevator with you. So that I'm not sure. If someone does that, start from the beginning. The elevator will either ascend or descend. If the elevator reaches the first floor, leave and do not come back.
And to be clear, I mean, if you're technically transposing the crossway between worlds, whoever steps on is going to step on, man, woman. That's why that
Yeah.
first post we started with, you know, it doesn't when it says stuff like this, anything could step on. It's like Ouija board. You get whatever comes your way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I mean, and is this both ways? Like, if you're a woman trying to escape the other world, you just camp in floor number 5 and wait for some guy to show up looking kind of scared,
Well, let's hope.
and then you
But then he
just
doesn't
walk in.
talk to you. What a jerk.
And then he doesn't look at you and he doesn't talk to you. It's like, what the hell? All right, if the elevator reaches the 10th floor, leave and do not respond to the woman. If she asks, where are you going or what's wrong? Her voice will be high when she asks that. Watch out if she has a security badge or if she goes to her walkie talkie. I said, we got another weirdo in the elevator. Do not
I'm starting to think it was written by her ex-boyfriend.
probably do not proceed if someone enters the elevator. One of the players leave. If someone does that, start in the beginning. All right, so let's assume that everything went well, right? So you reach the 10th floor and you just ignore the woman and you just walked out. You are in the other world. If you are alone, you are in the other world. The electronics will not work. The other world is identical to our world, but the two differences you will see, all the lights will be off and the only thing you will be able to see from the windows is a red cross in the distance. That's spooky. I like that visual. That is creepy. Um, to back to our world, you must go the same elevator and press the same buttons, only if you leave the 10th floor. So same sequence, 4 to 6 to 10 5. When you reach the 5th floor, press the button for the first floor. Hopefully you memorized this or wrote this down, because if you were looking it up from your cell phone, you're screwed, because electronics don't work in the other world. Uh,
Oh, absolutely. And don't put it on the palm of your hand or you'll just have smeared numbers.
that's writing prompt right there. The elevator will again begin to ascend. Interesting, the elevator works in a world with no lights and no electronics. But I guess emergency power to cross dimensions. Will begin to ascend to the 10th floor. Press any other floor's button to cancel the ascension. You must press the button you used to cancel the ascension before you reach the 10th floor. Interesting. I wonder what happens if you don't cancel. Do you like get in like worldception? Like, you go into the other
You end
world
up
from the other
trapped in
world?
another plane of existence.
Yeah, you go, one step removed. After you reach the first floor, check your surroundings carefully. If anything seems off, do not exit. If you detect something wrong, repeat step two. All right, so step two is the second floor, apparently, until your surroundings look as they should. Once you're confident, you may safely exit. Interesting. So keep saying, don't talk to the woman. If someone else enters or leave, then begin again at the fourth floor. That is a little contradictory, because all the other times he told you to start from the beginning. Whereas here, he's telling you, oh, no, 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 it's fine, because the beginning is the fourth floor. So you're fine. No, never mind, I'm sorry. Other trips, I'm already there. Only people that live at the 10th floor will go to the other world. Okay, getting back to your world might be more difficult, you might become disoriented. Elevator may seem to get further away from you as you walk towards it. That's kind of freaky. Be vigilant, keep your wits. If at any point you faint, lose consciousness, you will wake up in your own home. But examine your surroundings. The home you might, the home to which you have been returned might not be the one you left when you first set out to attempt this ritual. Interesting. Do not attempt this too many times. This may cue susceptible to accidental sleeping. If you do not get out on the tent, or if the woman does not get in, then head straight back to first. Sometimes when you're coming back, the elevator goes back up instead of down. You have to cancel the session by pressing any button. The other world is pulling you. That's creepy. If you faint in the other world and find yourself back in your world, be careful. You can be pulled there and back at any given moment. This also happens to people with susceptible souls, which apparently Korean has a term for. So I get it. So this is a scary game. This is a scary game indeed. I think I have the context now.
There
So,
was a film I don't know if you ever saw called Waking Life. It's
Waking Life.
yeah, it's rotoscoped. So they took actual actors and then they painted over it. But what's important about that is that this character, the whole film, this character is basically trapped in a dream that they can't wake up from, and they go from place to place meeting all these interesting characters. One of the characters says this line that always stuck with me, that in a dream you can't turn on a light switch. And so the way
Interesting.
to know if you're dreaming is to flip the switch, and if the lights won't come on, then you're still stuck in the dream.
Huh.
And that whole thing about the other world doesn't have any lights reminds me of that. Like you're going into a dream world where you can't turn on the lights.
That's interesting. So one thing that I used to know a few things about was lucid dreaming, and that's not paranormal, or it doesn't have to be. And there were other things that are particular to lucid dreaming, but I don't think that flicking switches is one of them. Can you remember having flicked a light switch in a dream? I think
I
I have.
can't, but ever since that movie, I've been paranoid. Every time I think I'm dreaming or hallucinating, I check the light switches.
Yeah,
Thank you,
shoes.
movie.
Just imagine one day it's just a broken light bulb, and you're like, oh no. So, All right, interesting. So, all right, so bunch of stuff about the elevator game. So, this post from Three Kings 14 days ago. Has anyone tried the game and seen a man instead of a woman? So, we made a circle. Now we're back at the beginning. We have the context. So, this redditor says it took me so long to get the combination right without anyone coming on the elevator. Probably was a busy building. When I finally was able to reach the fifth floor, a man came on instead of a woman. I was so desperate for something to happen that I didn't even care initially. He wasn't aggressive, but he stared at me the entire way to the 10th floor. I mean, the person writing this was probably a little bit nervous.
He might
And
have got like a random homeless creeper.
you know who? Just a regular user of the elevator comes in on the fifth floor and finds a guy visibly nervous and staring at him, probably.
Or
Right?
secondly, you don't have to assume the gender. It doesn't. Maybe it's not a guy.
Could be a person. Could be a sorry. Could be a I don't know what it could be. Could be anything.
No,
My
the point is that like when you do this kind of stuff, whatever comes on, it's like they're starting with, oh, how why was it a man instead of a woman? I'm like, you're messing with the forces of the cosmos here.
You're right. You're right. I don't think the spirits have those concerns, or who knows? Maybe they do. Let's see. He wasn't aggressive. Stared at me the whole way to the 10th floor. My body was positioned so that I was facing the doors, and he was to my left, but his body was facing mine. When I got off, he didn't yell after me, but I felt him adjust, turns towards me, and continues staring. I didn't look back until the doors closed because I was scared. I just went back on the elevator as soon as I could without exploring. So he didn't really come back then, right? Because the way to come back was to do the whole numbers game all over again. And oh, he's a woman. He says, "I'm a woman, and that kind of behavior would be bizarre, even if I wasn't playing the game. Why did that happen?"
It reminds me of the scene out of The Eye. The original Japanese version of The Eye was actually a really good movie. The
Oh,
American
I
remake
saw
was
it.
like the American version was whatever, but the original Japanese version is so scary. It had this scene just like this, where the dude was just
Somebody
off the floor.
has an eye transplanted to them, and they can see ghosts. Apparently,
Yeah,
right?
so she's blind and she gets a transplant. It gives her sight. She finds out the eyes came from someone who like committed suicide or something or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she's like halfway trapped in the ghost world and she can see death. And then like it all she sees these ghosts and she sees bad things coming and it leads up to, some big tragic event and she's able to see it happening before it happens and she's able to
Interesting.
warn people to get out of there before everybody dies.
So does it have a scene sort of like this elevator game?
Yeah, like when you watch the trailer, one of the main scenes they promoted was there's a guy floating next to her on the elevator, but his feet are like his toes are dragging along the ground. He's not walking; he's just floating.
That is creepy. Let's see. Yeah, here it is.
But who knows? This person could have met a spooky ghost or just a random homeless person.
Yeah, here it is. Interesting. I'm curious to see this movie now. All right, let's put this on the side. No, that didn't work. There she goes.
Yeah, there was a while that I binged all of them. I did the grunt,
Oh,
the grunge.
the Japanese know how to do jump scares, man. I don't know if they invented them,
Hell yeah,
but they know how to do these things.
the Ringu and the Grudge and shoot, what else you got? Dark
Yeah.
Water, Noroi, the Pulse, the Cairo,
I
the
remember
Trance.
the first time I watched The Ring, I think I couldn't sleep for at least a day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
So the American version of Pulse is just like generic, kind of boring. but the original version, it gets under your skin. And it's, I think the problem with a lot of these, especially when they translate them over to the reboot with Hollywood, is that these films have a slow crawling fear that gets under your skin over the
Yeah.
course of 3 hours. And the American versions go for jump scares, but they don't have any atmosphere.
Yeah, this has a great build up. I mean, I'm not scared because lights are on and I'm chatting with you. But in any
But
normal
she's
circumstance,
he'd be scared.
yeah, like in any normal oh crap, oh boy,
Yeah, she's playing the elevator game.
uh,
So this
that
is
that was
we're
nice.
showing a recreation of what the person posted. This
That
is
was that was nice. So who was that person? So let's see. That's weird. Some
well, she
commenter
just
said,
one. I think she's in a hospital at that point. And she finds out she just comes across various in the movie. She comes across various spirits, but
I see.
I don't know. Who knows? What they say? Perv, a demon, or a perv demon?
I mean, and she replies. She says, "I definitely thought it was just a perp, nothing demonic." But then she adds there was something really off about the way I felt in the write-up reversal ritual. Felt pressure on my chest, wanted to puke. Could have been just nervousness, honestly.
What
Uh,
would be really funny is if someone else was doing the elevator game at the exact same time as her, and
oh,
it
that
was
would be
just two people doing
hilarious.
the elevator game.
That would be just staring at each other, wondering which one the ghost is. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, well, he obviously broke the rule in that case because you're not supposed to look at the ghosts.
That's true, and they're telling her that. She did it instantly. Can also appear male. I wonder why it chose to appear male. Because I guess you're female. It kind of makes sense. It would have been utterly freaked out, and my blood ran cold just reading. I don't know. Look. I don't doubt that the person who posted this actually did it and actually felt what she described that she felt. That seems pretty clear to me. But was it paranormal, Dapper? Did anything actually magical or supernatural happen? That I don't know.
Well, like with all this stuff, there's very little evidence to go on.
Yep, yep. I don't know if I can say a lot more about this. I mean, she clearly had a creepy experience, and look, hopefully she's feeling much better by now. But it's hard to say. It's hard, and here's the thing that like here's the strongest arguments that I see. So if it was actually paranormal, if the ritual worked, right, and you reach all the way to the 10th floor and you got out, then you would have been trapped there. And we didn't find that out, right? Because this person says, I just went back on the elevator as soon as I could without exploring. So, were the lights on? Was there a red cross in the windows? I mean, did she follow the steps back to get back? And if she didn't, then is she still trapped there? And the fact that she was able to post this and we're reading it means we are there too? I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
So
the point is, there's no real way to prove because she came back, and we have no idea who the guy is.
that's
So
exactly
we'll
right.
leave this one filed under mystery.
Yeah, we'll leave this one on unsolved mystery. All right, let's see the next one. How to see the end of the world. Well, that's a winning title right there. You got me right at the title. All right, it's a
I see
big
it in the theaters every year.
to see the end of the world. All right, let's take a look. This ritual is fairly simple and
Okay, let's do it.
straightforward. It does not require any complex magical symbols or anything to that effect. The recipe. You need one, a good friend, a phone, and a place to sleep. Well, that's pretty accessible. To begin, find something that upsets you. Throwers in Overwatch. Levers. Levers in Overwatch
Twitter
upset
upsets
me.
him, huh?
Yeah. I suggest that you use Twitter. It always upsets me. The point is, all right, fair enough. The point is, you need enough negative energy to push you down to the lowest level. Just imagine somebody going on Twitter like, God damn it, they keep tweeting. You
Well,
know,
it works.
the more negative, the lower you go. Remember that. Yeah, just get on Twitter. Just plenty of negativity there, lots of hate. Take your cell phone and call a good friend and vent about your feelings as best you can. And the friend is like, Tommy, are you trying to see the end of the world again? God damn it, it's 3 a.m. But don't talk until you feel completely over it. If your energy becomes too positive, you will fail. So Tommy will try his best to cheer you up, but he'll sort of fail. All right. End the phone call by saying sincerely, "It has been good to talk to you." Okay, at least that's polite. Don't say anything else after this. Hang up the phone. And the guy goes, "Weird Tommy, man. Keeps doing this." Go to your bed just before your usual bedtime and lay directly on your back. Try to be as comfortable as you can. Fall asleep. All right, so it's going to be a dream. It's going to be a dream. You will see a selection of images that are largely incomprehensible to you. Dream. That's okay. This ritual only shows a role you're already fated to play in the end of the world. Ah. You will fall asleep and you will dream if you've done this correctly. This dream will show you what you want to know. So at this point, you just work yourself into a really bad mood. Then you bothered a friend and went to bed, right? And you're gonna have
So
a
you build up negative energy. You
yeah,
put yourself into a receptive state, and then
yeah,
you direct your antenna and the negative energy to bring in negative visions. So you're
right.
seeing like you're basically just reading revelations from the Bible.
But yeah, and now you're dreaming, so you can see visions, you can hear stuff, you can have a whole story play in your head, based on the emotions that you're imbibing. Okay, so for most people, however, the general story is the same because, let's face it, most people are sheep. All right, edgy. Okay, let's see. Let's see if the story is the same for everyone. I expect something generic. A cold sore will mark your face. Well, that's not generic. Just right there, it got pretty specific. And you will find
Well,
you.
that's weird because I get that all the time, and I've never done this ritual.
But maybe you're
I'm
seeing the end of
sorry.
the
I'm
world.
gross.
No, no, that's fine. And you will find yourself in the worst house you've lived in up until this age.
Oh
So,
no.
some boarding house in the Philippines that was smaller than my car. All right. In this house, there will be family member that you are least attached to. So, some
Oh,
remote
okay.
cousin that I probably don't even remember his name.
Goodbye, Grandma.
Yeah, there you go. The person will be somewhere you might care for, but no one you are actually attached to strongly. Yeah, I'm staying with a cousin. They will be neutral from your perspective. They may also be a bad parent or an otherwise black sheep. It's getting specific, suspiciously specific. Cousin. They will offer you liquor, no, definitely cousin, of some kind, and you will drink it. Definitely a dream. Definitely a dream. I would not do it in real life. Strangers will be present in your house. They wouldn't fit, though. If it's the worst house I've lived in, they wouldn't fit. Including one person who seems familiar, who you won't recognize when you wake up. Okay. Listen to him until this image fades. So this is the trope of the wise stranger, right? There is someone who seems familiar to you. You have to listen to him, but you will not recognize him as a person. It's all about the message. So that's interesting. All right, this is the past that brought the end upon us, but you won't remember it because it's not time yet. Also, you just saw the past. Right, it's the worst house you've ever been to, and you probably had images of, close relationships to you.
Well, because you lived in a bad house, so now you caused the apocalypse. I mean, that's
Yeah,
perfect logic right there.
you know, should have rented that better building. Listen to what they say, and you will be transported to the middle of a road. Okay, you will see an embattled pop star. What?
Wait,
In
what?
in my case, it was Camila Cabello. Havana, at the end of the world. And rather than accept her role in the destruction yet to come, she will dance with her team and sing as if her role was nothing.
So you get a musical number and
You get a
everything?
musical.
Is this
Listen
a
to her
Bollywood
song.
dream?
Listen to her song on the road and watch her performance. So yeah, it's like, the world is burning and it's like Havana, Umana. All right.
If the end of the world comes as a Bollywood film, I'm actually not going to be that mad
I wouldn't
because
even be mad. All
in the
right.
beginning, at least.
This is the present that brought us this drawing. All right, I know what this guy is doing. So look, these are obviously symbolisms, right? So the past that brought the end of the world is probably a bad stage in your life when you have some relatives that you didn't care much about, and you probably didn't recognize or listen to. In the present, you are being distracted by trivial stuff that doesn't matter while the world burns. This is the present that brought us this ruin, right? Is what it says here. But you will not recognize these events as recently occurring. This is because the timeline adjustment that happens at the end has not happened yet. But the end is already being started by billions of people like yourself. Right, so billions of people are just listening to embattled pop stars instead of presumably attending the world. I feel like there's a moral in this story here.
So wait, your dream projects you into the past and changes the timeline, man?
I don't know. It's like the three ghosts of Christmas, Like they show you the past, the present, and the future. So I presume that the next one is the future. Let's find out. It says, then you will come around in a hospital. You will work there, but you don't know why. Exactly. I wouldn't know. I mean, not in the medical field. They're probably fixing their computers. That's because the destruction will have already begun, and you will have no choice but to try and help the sick. There will be people in the hospital walking through the hospital in a back section. You will tell them directly that they cannot be there, but they will ignore you because they are a part of something bigger than you are. All right, well, it is a dream. Dreams are freaky and nonsensical. Like, excuse me,
So,
sir.
so just as a heads up to everybody who's in the subreddit,
Yeah,
if your creepypasta ritual or whatever it is has insistences into the person's behavior, you will do this, you won't do this,
yeah,
it's not going to go well because human beings are stubborn and free spirited and they will
yeah.
just throw it down and not do it just to spite you.
True, 100%. I mean, this is a dream. It's not a cutscene, right? You have some
Yeah, and so
agency.
like the ritual should always account for the fact of what the experience will be like, but not for how the what the person doing the ritual will do, what they should do, like guidelines. You should do this, you shouldn't do that, but never like this is what you will do because obviously people will not. They
Yeah.
will just go the opposite just because you told them this.
That's a basic human principle. You tell them go left, they're gonna go
But
right just
anyways,
because you say
let's
left.
let's go
And
on.
I'm with you. But look, it's dream logic, right? So look, there will be people walking in the hospital, but just in the back section, not the whole hospital. Then for some reason you'll tell them not to, and they'll ignore you because they're a part of something bigger. Like, excuse me, sir, why are you in this restricted section? You're not supposed to be here. Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry,
part of government
hospital
work.
worker. I'm part of something bigger than you are. Oh, okay, sir. Well, my bad. Many people actually just think that they are voluntary testing subjects for experimental vaccines as the science community desperately tries to save the populations. But it's all conjecture. So I'm getting corona vibes now. Getting corona vibes. But look, if it's really the end of the world, I don't think that it would go quite this way. I think the hospitals. All right, I'm making conjectures myself now. Never mind. All right, continue. This is the final future of your actions, or at least as far ahead in the future as you can see. It also has not happened yet, but it will, and there is nothing you can do about it.
Thanks a
Holy
lot, Thomas Ligotti, having no faith in people.
damn. That's like Terminator 2, you know? Skynet is coming, whether you like it or not.
It's nihilism. It's hopeless. You should
Yeah,
always have at least a seed of hope. I mean, shit, even Pandora's box had a little left.
yeah. That's right. There's no counterplay here, you know? All right, you will wake up nervous. Yeah, I mean, I would. And you will wonder how your seemingly innocent past, present, and future actions have contributed to the final death of the world. In order for the world to end, everyone must participate in that ending. Well, then we're good, guys. We're saved, right? If everyone must participate, I can count on some guy somewhere not participate and the world is saved. So thank God for that.
Hey,
Uh,
look, and they make a Harry Potter prophecy.
yeah. Uh, we need a Harry Potter figure. to make this complete. All of the people on the
The
planet.
past that never was, the future, the present that is not, the future that never will be, but somehow still is. These are the words of divine vision.
Oh yeah, that was the character. That was the loopy character. What's her name? Some female teacher. That's a good movie.
Oh, yay, with the big foggy glasses.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She was fun.
What's funny
Uh,
because I'm listening to the audiobook of Dune and they have all these characters making prophecies in Dune.
oh, Dune. Oh man, I could never get into that. I mean, I respect Frank Herbert, but he wrote a lot. I'll try again. Maybe I was too young. Uh, let's see.
That's
All of the.
the fun of the audiobook is you don't have to read. You
That's
just kind
true.
of put it on while you do other stuff.
You just let it happen. Yeah, maybe I should do that. All of the people on the planet before now and after have already or will soon play a different yet similar role. Just like you, they thought they were making the best decisions at the time. Your dream might be different, but if you've done it correctly, you will still see your past, present, and future following the same format. Oh, look at this. The past that never was, the present that is not, the future that never will be, but somehow still is. But you will know that your action, or rather your fate line, will have costed, even if you don't know why. Nothing will happen if you fail. So this is hardly a ritual, Dapper. This feels more like a creative writing exercise. What's your verdict? What are your thoughts on this
Like
one?
you called it earlier, it's a cutscene.
Yeah,
They wrote a cutscene that they, whether or not it's real, it is not a ritual in the sense that you're not really doing things by choice. You're essentially just being caught up in their visions.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And look, the comments is interesting. So the first guy says, "I'll probably fail doing this," and the poster said, "This comment gives me life." See what you did there, right? Because he failed, so that the world is not gonna end. That gives him life. They're making fun of Twitter. That's pretty funny. If I ended a call with "It's been good talking to you," most friends would think I was about to off myself. Oh, the other one. F you. You're a sheep. You're a background character.
I like to say we don't want to be disparaging the people who come on and write these stories. If they're
Yeah.
true or they're not, is irrelevant. We're still enjoying ourselves. And maybe they did experience. Maybe this person went through all of this. And they're like, I got to write this down because people need to know you can do
That's
this.
fair. And look, it's not. I still believe it is creative writing. I still think that this is it came out of somebody's head, but it's well written. It promotes emotions. Is it does what it sets out to do. And
Right, and
I
me and you laugh at these though. I mean, any of these that we come across, it's kind of a tongue in cheek because we
yeah,
love it, but we still think parts of it are kind of silly. I think even
yeah.
real rituals and supernatural stuff, some of it's silly. Even the stuff that people have proven.
I mean, if you think about it, there are so many things that we find cool that deep down are like super silly, like Batman. You know, like somebody kills his parents and he dresses like a bat now. Like, it's cool, right? But if someone did that in real life, like they should be committed. Like he should be the first person going to Arkham Asylum. You know, has a sore
Yeah,
throat and he cosplays
he's
like a
got some
bat.
anger issues. I think.
That's no, so we love it, right? But there are silly things to it. So this story, cool story, right? Who posted this? Adrian Guns X. Adrian, good job. I mean, this is well written. It's creepy. It has a certain mood. I enjoyed reading it. But if somebody asked me, will you actually see the end of the world if you follow these steps? My answer would be, well, you will see whatever you condition yourself to see, right? If you really believe in it and you prime your brain to send you a certain number of images or visions or concepts, right? Especially around this little format, yeah, you know what? You might suggest yourself into seeing that format. Will that be the end of the world? Probably not, but
I like to think that the poster just wants the world to end and figures if they can get everybody to do this, they might just be done with this whole
you know
world.
what? That is possible. Like, I don't want to go into the weeds again too much, but remember what we've been saying about how people manifest reality by believing in it so hard? And
Right.
if we take that concept to the extreme, then movies with a happy ending literally save the world, you know? And movies that make you all depressed and afraid, like, literally make the world a worse place.
That's the thing is that one hand washes the other. Art imitates life, but life imitates art.
That's
So
right.
we make art to encourage reality to change, but reality makes art change, and they affect each other. So there's no one direction. It's not,
Mm.
we're doing these kind of things. It's going to lead to the apocalypse. These are like a symptom of the apocalypse that leads to the apocalypse because it's a symptom.
Right.
It's like a
Right. Right. Right.
circle, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, we did two good rituals. So the elevator game, which takes you to another world, and the end of the world, which honestly takes you to your head. I think. So it's been fun. It's been fun. Anything you'd like to say, my friend? Oh, please plug your podcast. What is
Oh
the name of your
yeah.
podcast again?
So we are. I think the website is still up. It is citizenscouch.com. We get together and drink and talk about horror films.
Love it. Love it. So, how many podcasts have you made?
So here's the thing, right? There are 3 released so far on the website. If you go there
I'm
and
I'm
check
I'm
them
at
out,
it right now.
we have done. I think we're on our 12th episode we've recorded.
Oh wow.
And we built up a really big lead so that we can, in case we need to take a month off or
I
something, we'll
see.
still be releasing episodes.
Smart.
And there's some of them we watch, like we watch 4 movies a week, and I think we review 2 on Thursdays or Fridays.
Right.
And then we take that, and the editor puts it together and edits the one that's going to be released next. We just currently been contacted by this person who made a film called Lection.
Okay.
They're going to pop on next week, and we're going to talk about the film with them and try to get them some exposure. So we're using the platform to hopefully help people in the indie film industry.
There you have it, gentlemen. Citizenscouch.com. And just looking at these posters, like I already wanna click this and get into it. So uh, your co-host Dapper is there. Smart people are there, and yeah, enjoy it. Citizenscouch.com. All right, thanks everyone. So that was our podcast, gentlemen. Enjoy. Stay safe. Three Kings Corners. Do rituals, but don't do dumb things and don't hurt yourself or others. And have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you as always.
See you later, Dapper.